the black and blue and watch your Super Bowl dreams till they all come true.
Here in Pittsburgh, it's sunny and windy, temperature 60 degrees. Jacksonville 3-2, trailing Indianapolis in the south of the AFC, and Pittsburgh a half game behind Cincinnati in the AFC North. Kickoff is coming up. The game brought to you in high definition by Sony. As you can see, the Steelers won the toss and will receive, and Josh Scobie, who is second in the NFL in touchbacks, 11 of his 23 kickoffs have sailed into the end zone and were not returned. Only Neil Rackers of Arizona better, but he benefited from that game in Mexico City's high altitude. Quincy Morgan, former Brown, former Cowboy, is back along with Cedric Wilson as they split the 5-yard line, and here's Scobie's kick. Underway in Pittsburgh. It sails toward the sidelines and out of bounds. And what a break for Pittsburgh. They open play at their own 40-yard line on the penalty. The wind blowing from right to left as Scobie kicked it. And here's Tommy Maddox, injured last year in game 2. That's when Ben Roethlisberger replaced him, became a rookie star. Roles reversed today. Big Ben on the sidelines with a bruised knee. Up front for the Steelers, 3 of them made the Pro Bowl last year, led by All-Pro guard Alan Faneca. And free agent running back Willie Parker, 6th in the AFC in rushing, is the speed. The bust, Jerome Bettis, will see his power later. So from the 40, and that's Wilson in motion. Hines Ward on the sidelines with an injury. They give us to Parker, and he slides for a couple into the grasp of Big John Henderson. And let's check that Jacksonville defense. The massive tackle Marcus Stroud teams with the equally big John Henderson at the front 4. The linebackers led by Mike Peterson. He's been their leading tackler the last 3 years. And budding star Rashean Mathis at corner leads an aggressive Jaguars secondary. He's good enough to handle single coverage, Mathis. 2nd and 8. Parker with Heath Miller, the tight end, in motion. The throw is to Antoine Randall L. And the former Indiana star has a first down at the 48 of Jacksonville.
Well, Antoine Randall L. has stepped into the starting position, formerly held by Plexico Burress, and he has really blossomed this year. I think we all know his versatility, all the different things he can do, the former college quarterback. And as Hines Ward there on the sidelines sits out the first game ever. Hines telling us he never missed a game in grade school on up. What an awkward experience this must be for Hines Ward.
Said he never missed a practice, and it was out all this week. Parker gets very little off the left side. Aiken Adel at linebacker, first to make the hit. Now back to Willie Parker. You know, these free agents have wonderful stories, every one of them. How do they make it? Who finally gets them? Well, in Parker's case, it was part of the whole Rooney heritage here in Pittsburgh. Dan Rooney Jr., the son of the owner and chief executive of Pittsburgh, he was scouting down in North Carolina, and so I'm in high school and remembered him.
Anytime I think of free agent, I just remember Johnny Unitas was a free agent.
That'll be a full start. And every one of them has a remarkable story, how somebody helped them to get
77
into the NFL. Marvell Smith had tackle pulled off the line of scrimmage. Well, quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, he told us yesterday with a big smile, I'm going to campaign, lobby to play today. He says, I think I'm ready to go. And in Bill Cowher's words, Dan, it was risk or reward for both him and Ward.
I think it all boils down to Roethlisberger. Did he have enough mobility to defend himself? And obviously Bill Cowher thinking he does not.
Tommy Maddox, his first throw, have to back off and get rid of that one as Reggie Hayward, the former Denver Bronco, a big free agent acquisition at defensive end, was putting on the pressure.
And there's a prime example where Tommy Maddox, the play doesn't go as advertised. He's got to improvise. He's getting the big rush. He's got to backpedal, get out of the way. You immediately think to yourself, with Ben Roethlisberger, how good would he have been able to do that? How comfortable would he have been? Would that have hurt his knee? Smart move, I think, here by Pittsburgh, sitting him down. It's a long year.
3rd and 14, and Veron Haynes, and he's a better pass receiver. Jacksonville very tough on 3rd and long. This throw intercepted. The pickoff is by Terry Cousin, the nickelback. Cousin with his first interception of the season.
Boy, and nobody touched Cousin. He was able to get up and run, but I think he stepped out of bounds in the process of getting up. I don't think Tommy Maddox sees Terry Cousin falling off underneath. Well, he gets possession. He goes down, but as he got up to head upfield, he stepped out of bounds. The Jags have it.
Byron Leftwich and the Jaguars take over at their own 36 in his 3rd season. 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but Leftwich has fumbled 6 times. He knows he's going to see the best of the blitzes from Pittsburgh. And Greg Jones, 250 pounds. He had been switched to fullback, but with the injury to Fred Taylor, he runs at tailback today. Rookie Khalif Barnes from the University of Washington starts now at left tackle, that critical spot, protecting his quarterback. And the smooth veteran receiver, Jimmy Smith, he needs only 4 catches to move into the top 10 all-time in the NFL. Fred Taylor, who will not play, needed only 19 yards to get to the 8,000 club, be the 30th, but he won't play today. It's Jones, hit in the backfield. A solid smack from Kimo von Oelhoffen, the 12-year veteran from Boise State. The Steelers nose tackle, watch him, Casey Hampton, 325-pound force in the middle. As always, Pittsburgh with great linebackers led by their MVP last year, James Ferrier, and Troy Polamalu at safety. He hits like a linebacker, covers like a corner. Watch number 43. Polamalu has become one of the best in the NFL. Alvin Pierman, the rookie from Virginia, now joins Leftwich in the shotgun, 3rd and 8. Leftwich's first pass is tipped, incomplete. Reggie Williams got a hand on it, but couldn't pull it in off the deflection. So the Steelers, who had not thrown an interception all season, only Pittsburgh and Oakland could make that claim at this stage of the year. Had one picked off on the first possession, Maddox, but it doesn't cause damage.
Yeah, thanks to this Pittsburgh D, and they did exactly what they wanted to do on 1st and 2nd down, Dick. 2 runs by the Jags get them a total of 2 yards, and 3rd and 8. That is a down that if the Jags stay in that all game, they're in big trouble.
Beautiful spiral kick by Hansen, floating in the breeze to Antoine Randall L. Gets a block, 20, spins to the 24. Downfield was Nick Sorensen, the special teams captain, to make the tackle for Jacksonville.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by UPS. What can Brown do for you? Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard. And by new Budweiser Select. Brewed for a crisp taste that finishes clean. Be selective.
Blimp, you see just on your right, there's the baseball park, the brand new park for baseball. There's Heinz Field for football. 2 great facilities. MetLife in the skies, teaming up with CBS for more coverage of football this fall. Tommy Maddox starts from the Steeler 24 to the outside, complete. It's Randall L. again. He was averaging 27 yards a catch coming in to lead the NFL.
And good aggressive play calling by offensive play caller Ken Wisenhunt, because on 1st down, it is a chore running against this Jaguars defense with the 2 big guys inside, and on the heels of a Maddox interception, let him come right back, let him get a good throw under his belt, and get the feel for the game underway again. That's the way to get your QB back in it.
12 yards for Randall L. Working on Kenny Wright. Now to Willie Parker, gets outside, and the speedster is out to the 46, nearly 10 more. Terry Cousin tripped him up.
Well, if you're going to run against this Jaguars defense, which people have been doing this year, it's going to be on the edge because Stroud and Henderson aren't going anywhere. You can start in the middle, and you can see Willie Parker just barely got away from the grasp of Marcus Stroud. But it is tough to attack between the tackles against this Jaguars defense. Too many Pro Bowlers in there.
Steelers in the last couple of years, Bill Cowher's team has led the league in rushing yards. This is Parker getting very little there. And in fact, Cowher in his 14th year, Dan, and the continuity, the consistency of this Pittsburgh team offensively and defensively, running the football. No team has rushed for more yards in the NFL in the last 14 years than Cowher's teams.
Well, you'd think he'd be an old defensive coach, wouldn't you? As a linebacker, as a player, a defensive coordinator, he knows that a running game is a defense's best friend. The defense gets to stay on the sidelines. You move the chains. And then as a former linebacker, he makes it fun for his linebackers because they blitz from every conceivable angle.
3rd and 1. It's the bus. And he runs into a stop. He did not make enough yardage for the first down as Darrell Smith and former 49er Jamie Winborn, acquired a week ago from San Francisco by Jacksonville, team up on the stop. They needed to get to the 46. The ball spotted on the 45, so it's still 4th and the full 1.
No movement at all that time by the Steelers offensive line. This front four of Jacksonville really dug in. Take a look at that. The black shirts have not moved forward 1 inch. They're at center, left guard, left tackle, and Bettis had absolutely nowhere to go. Great job by Jacksonville up front.
And here's veteran Chris Gardocki in his 15th year out of Clemson. Never had a punt blocked. 1,061 kicks in his long career. The left footer sends a spinner toward rookie Alvin Pearman. Scoops it up like a shortstop and then is dumped at the 19. Sean Morey, a wide receiver from Brown University, made the tackle. No score in Pittsburgh. Back at the Confluence, and we invite you to visit CBS Sportsline tonight. A complete wrap-up of all the day's action. Watch video highlights, read in-depth analysis from our team of NFL experts only on CBSSportsline.com. Second possession, Jacksonville. And the give is to Greg Jones, and the big man carrying 250 pounds has a first down across the 30 as we go to New York for this NFL update.
All right, Dick, in Baltimore, the Ravens have scored a touchdown in the first quarter for the first time all season. Anthony Wright to Todd Heap, 3 yards, 7-0. The Ravens lead Cleveland. Back to you.
All right, Greg, starting 1-3 Baltimore, and the fans, a lot of grumbling there. There's Jack Del Rio in his 3rd year as the head man in Jacksonville. Built this team on a physical basis, and he said, I'm still building it that way to compete with teams like Pittsburgh. Quick throw, and Jimmy Smith is tackled immediately after a yard gain.
Well, Dick, these teams in many ways are mirror images of each other, and you're right. That's exactly what Jack Del Rio, another linebacker, wanted to form. It all starts with being physical. He thinks he's got a football team that'll stand toe-to-toe with any team in this league based on the running game. Now, Fred Taylor's not going today. Judicious passing, but a solid defense and good special teams. And by the way, if there's a special teams edge today, it may lie with Jacksonville and Scobie.
2nd and 9. Back to Jones, trying to get outside, gets a block, 40. He's got speed for a big fella. And he's all the way inside the 45-yard line and a first down before Chris Hope at safety can ride him down.
Well, that's the second time now that Jacksonville has run to their offensive right, the left of the Pittsburgh defense, and you can see they're sealed inside. And Casey Hampton can't get all the way out there from the nose tackle position. If you're depending on Hampton to get all the way out there to stop him from cutting upfield, you're asking a lot. And in his absence, Fred Taylor reduced to part of a cheerleader on the sideline. Frustrating for him.
What a block by Derek Wimbush, the undrafted free agent fullback, to help Jones for that big yardage on the last play, worth 25 yards. And we've got another update in New York. Greg?
Dick, in Tampa, big Florida rivalry game. The Bucks and the Dolphins. Brian Greasy to Joey Galloway, 7 yards and a touchdown. The Bucks draw first blood. 7-0 first quarter, guys.
All right. right, leaders in the South at the NFC, Tampa Bay at 4-1, and Miami now at 2-2 in the AFC.
Maybe Tampa's post-Super Bowl funk might finally be over.
It appears that way, doesn't it? 2nd and 5 for the Jaguars, and Leftwich pumps, keeps, 240 pounds, falls forward maybe for a yard. James Harrison, playing for the injured Clark Higgins, and outside backer, made the stop. He made a terrific interception, didn't he, on Monday night against San Diego?
Oh, no kidding. And then the run afterwards. That was pretty spectacular in and of itself. A long line of wonderful linebackers have manned this Pittsburgh defense, a tradition pretty much unlike any other team in the National Football League, and the current crop is well aware of it.
Alvin Pierman with Leftwich, and that's rookie Matt Jones in motion. He's 6'6". Leftwich just does get away from the rush, dumps it off, and it's Pierman with enough for a first down, close to the 30.
And I think that's one of the things that Jack Del Rio has learned to appreciate about Byron Leftwich, is the way he's maturing now. And you can see right there, he bought himself extra time with his legs. He's not the most mobile of quarterbacks. He is not a Donovan McNabb or a Steve Young lookalike. This is a guy that he's a big man, stays in the pocket, but he bought himself a little extra time and then found a receiver. And you could see there were no frantic movements there. He was in control the entire time.
First down, Jaguars at the 31. Leftwich just beats the clock. Throws and wide open, and dropping the ball is Derek Wimbush. The fullback, undrafted out of Fort Valley State, this rookie. Big chance there.
What did you say he was? A rookie? Yes, and that was a rookie mistake right there. A classic look of a guy's head going upfield before he looks the ball. He stay with that football. Don't turn away from it until you've put it away.
How could I be this wide open?
Oh.
That had touchdown written on it.
Oh, you just got to convert those.
Jones bowling his way to the 23-yard line on an 8-yard carry. Troy Polamalu and Chris Hope, the two safeties, making the stop.
And this offensive line at Jacksonville, which is, they kind of got beat up a little bit, and justifiably so. They didn't play very well, but they inserted Khalif Barnes, a rookie at left tackle last week. He's number 69 there, and look at the block he gets, and look how they pin the Steelers to the inside. Chris Naoli comes around the corner, and so far this Jacksonville running game has to be a concern for Dick LeBeau and this defense. They're getting after it.
Marcus Stroud on the offensive line on 3rd and 2. And bowling straight ahead was Jones, but he is rejected with Larry Foote and company teaming up on the stop. This may present an interesting call for Del Rio. 4th and about a yard.
Well, it's tough on short yardage when you have to take on a linebacker in your own backfield, and that's where Larry Foote was. He was clear across the ball.
We're going to go for it, Dan. Bring in extra beef. A couple of tight ends. Brady and Reister are in.
Well, they're certainly within Scobie's range. This is somewhat of a surprise.
Jones caught in the backfield, and Pittsburgh takes over on downs.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DLP Technology from Texas Instruments. It doesn't get any more real than this. And by Right Guard. Get extreme. Get Right Guard.
Glimpse of the modern architecture downtown Pittsburgh. This franchise joining the NFL in 1933. Mr. Art Rooney paid $2,500 to join the league. These fans, football happy and full in love with this game. Enjoyed many a great moment, and it's Parker Knocked down by Marcus Stroud, and contact knocked down one of the officials
Number
as well.
77, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, let's go back to this fourth down call by Jack Del Rio to go ahead and go for it. Watch Kimo von Oelhoffen. See him, number 67. He's 2 yards up. He's 2 yards upfield. Actually, that's Aaron Smith. Check that. Aaron Smith, number 91. Look at him. He's a couple yards upfield. Then comes von Oelhoffen to finish it off. And wow, that, in a game that figured to be low scoring and scratch and dig for points, that is a curious call by Jack Del Rio, because they were certainly in Scobie's field goal range. Kid kicked 51 and 53 yarders last week.
That's right. Marvell Smith was guilty of a holding call, and now the sack by Reggie Hayward. Hayward, what a pickup from Denver. The last 2 years with the Broncos had 19 sacks total, and he's now got 4.5 as a Jaguar.
Well, he got a huge signing bonus from Jacksonville. When you can see right there what a big move he puts on Max Starks, the right tackle. Starks just whiffs with Hayward starting upfield and then spinning back, not spinning, but a good inside move. Starks didn't even get a hit on him. Maddox had no chance.
Willie Parker in the backfield is now at second down and 27 from the 7-yard line. Maddox, the quick throw. Skips it incomplete, intended for Cedric Wilson. Some grumbles now start to emanate from the Steeler fans. Maddox with another great football story. Drafted high at number 1 way back in '92 by Denver. Struggled and then was on the street selling insurance in Dallas for 4 years. And you know the rest. He went to the XFL, arena football, trying to keep his hopes alive, and finally he lands in Pittsburgh and had some good seasons. Third and 27 from his own end zone. Down the middle. Intercepted. A one-handed pick by Mike Peterson, and Peterson with his second interception of the year is inside the 10.
Boy, and the crowd really lets loose on Tommy Maddox now. And that was a tough choice on his part to throw into traffic in the middle of the field. He tried a sideline pattern the first time when it was intercepted by Terry Cousin. This time he goes to the middle of the field. He's got good protection. Plenty of time to sit in there, but he doesn't see Mike Peterson, who did nothing more than drop back into his customary hook zone. Elevates a great one-handed stab to bring it back down. But again, throwing into traffic by Maddox.
Well, 2 interceptions by the Jaguar defense against a team that hadn't lost one all season. First and goal at the 7. Jones. Greg Jones down to the goal line. And touchdown, Jacksonville. So Jones replacing the star runner Fred Taylor, and all that he has done in this first quarter is rush for 59 yards and now a touchdown.
Well, 2 things, Dick, that don't play to form so far in this game. 1, the Steelers throwing interceptions. B, somebody running the football on them. And that's exactly what Jacksonville is doing. Jones being very patient, where the question is whether his knee was down before he got that ball across the end zone. But nonetheless, a great surge by the Jaguars offensive line. But out of character for the Steelers in what's happening early in this game.
Josh Scobie adds the extra point, and the Jaguars have always played Pittsburgh tough. 16 times they've met, 8 wins for each. And Coach Jack Del Rio likes how that defense set up the scoring touchdown. The Steelers, who had turned the ball over only twice in their first 4 games, guilty of 2 Maddox interceptions here in the opening quarter against Jacksonville, and that's got Bill Cowher talking with more animation on the sidelines.
Yeah, with a start like this, Tommy Maddox quarterback rating is going to be in negative numbers. That's not possible, but he's testing the formula.
Yeah, he's 2 for 6 and 2 interceptions. A reminder tonight on a new cold case, we'll tell you more about that in a moment, is Josh Scobie has it teed up. Remember, on the opening kickoff, he sailed one out of bounds to the left to give the Steelers the ball at the 40. because of the gusty winds, he'll get a little support holding the ball. That's Scott Starks, a rookie from Wisconsin. And the short kick goes into the wedge, and Dan Kreider from New Hampshire at the 35. Well, a new cold case indeed tonight. How far would someone go to win a game? A baseball player's murder puts the detectives in play on the Hit Trauma Cold Case tonight on CBS, America's most watched network. Parker and Kreider in the backfield behind Maddox. 7-0 Jacksonville is in the final 68 seconds of this opening quarter, and Parker trying to get outside. Slammed down at the 39 by Peterson and Mathis. Parker played at North Carolina but didn't play much. As a senior, rushed for only 181 yards, had only 48 carries in his college career. And here he is in his second season as an undrafted free agent, the leading rusher for Pittsburgh. As you see the flags, and it's tricky winds, tough place to kick, as any field goal player might attest. Good fake, and then the screen incomplete. Heath Miller, the intended receiver, the #1 draft pick of the Steelers, the tight end. Nothing going well for Maddox and the Pittsburgh offense.
No, and Tommy, again, keep in mind that Tommy Maddox pulled a calf muscle about 10 days ago. It was a Friday right before their game with San Diego. Didn't even make the trip to San Diego. Was originally told he was going to be out 3 or 4 weeks. So here he is back early, much earlier than Bill Cowher expected, but what a rocky beginning to this game.
And he was used only sparingly in the preseason, so he hasn't seen much game duty since more than a year ago. The throw almost intercepted, as not even looking for the ball was the intended receiver Cedric Wilson. A flag, as you can see, is down in the backfield.
Roughing the passer. Defense.
Well, there's a break.
Helmet-to-helmet contact. 15-yard penalty.
There's a break that Pittsburgh needed badly. Take a look at this at the conclusion of the play. Rob Meyer comes in, and he hits Tommy Maddox late. Not a violent hit or anything like that, but it was well after Maddox released the football.
That would have been fourth down. They would have had to punt.
Ooh, that is that's one of those chain-moving penalties that Pittsburgh needed desperately.
And they mark it out at the Jacksonville 46 for Bill Cowher's team, with a handful of seconds left here in the opening quarter. Fake to Parker. Going long, Maddox. And the ball well short, and there's another flag as Randall L. and Kenny Wright entangled.
Again, 2 Steeler receivers in the vicinity of the football. I don't know if that ball was overthrown or underthrown. It looked like one or the other.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 25. Automatic. First down.
Terry McCauley, our referee today, went to Louisiana State, a computer scientist.
All right, let's take a look at this thing. There's Kenny Wright, number 25. Now he's taken off and running with Randall L. Boy, that ball severely underthrown. I don't see any way that Randall L is going to be able to come back and catch that ball. You know, that's one of those things, if the ball is thrown properly, no way does Kenny Wright get caught in that position.
So a personal foul penalty for 15. That one was 29 yards, that penalty. And that's keeping the Steelers alive here at the end of the opening quarter. Jacksonville using 2 interceptions and a 7-yard run and a big quarter from their 250-pound fullback Greg Jones for a 7-0 lead. We'll return to Heinz Field after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. This throw intercepted. He's got speed for a big fella. Greg Jones down to the goal line. Touchdown, Jacksonville. And welcome back to Denver. Dan Deerdorf, Armin Katan here at Heinz Field. Steelers trying to draw even, trailing 7-0 as we open the second quarter. And Jacksonville has maintained its mark of not allowing a point in the first quarter all season. No other team has done that. Jerome Bettis in the backfield. Maddox scurries, throws underneath, complete to Heath Miller. He's to the goal line. Touchdown!
Well, that's what Bill Cowher was looking for when he drafted Miller in the first round out of Virginia. A big body who could block, but who was an excellent receiver. And talk about not going down. He makes that catch at the 8, first contact at the 5, and breaks 2 tackles to get into the end zone.
6'5" and 256 pounds, and that second effort got him into the end zone.
Went right through Mike Peterson and Darrell Smith to get into the end zone. And even though being outplayed, Pittsburgh, look at this, a chance to tie it up.
Jeff Reed for the extra point. Reed, who won it with a field goal in San Diego on Monday night. It's tied at 7. Ben Roethlisberger congratulates Maddox on the sidelines after a 65-yard drive in 4 plays, aided by 44 yards in Jacksonville penalties. So Tommy Maddox with his first touchdown throw of the season, 15 yards to Heath Miller to pay off a 65-yard march, aided by a couple of big Jacksonville penalties.
And a nice job by Maddox, buying himself a little extra time moving around to avoid the rush.
Reed, line drive toward the end zone, and it goes through for the touchback at the 20. 7-7 in Pittsburgh. Let's get you an update going to New York.
All right, Dick, at Tennessee, scoreless tie broken by the Titans. Chris Brown from 4 yards out fights his way to the goal line. They're in the second quarter now, and Tennessee has a 7-0 lead on the Bengals. Dick and Dan, back to you.
All right, Greg, and how about Jeff Fisher's team? So many losses, and he wins today, and the Titans are 3-3.
I'm one of the most surprised guys around. I didn't think the Titans would be anywhere close to competitive this year.
Greg Jones, the tailback, he gets the call for 3. You can log on, fans, to NFL.com every Tuesday for Vic Carucci's Power Poll. He ranks the top teams in the NFL. This year, the field is wide open, as you know, so see who he ranks and where. It's all on NFL.com. Stat tracks showing you that Greg Jones at 62 yards rushing and a touchdown. Former Florida State star. The lob throw by Leftwich incomplete, intended for Richie Williams. Ike Taylor developing as a top corner in his 3rd year out of Louisiana Lafayette on the coverage.
Well, 2 guys locked up there in the early stages of development. Reggie Williams, their #1 draft choice of a year ago. Guy that only had 27 catches all last season. But coming into today, he's already got 18, still looking for his first touchdown. But everybody on the Jaguars staff will tell you he has made huge progress in his becoming a good NFL player.
We saw Polamalu up on the line of scrimmage examining a 4 wide receiver set. Quick throw deflected in the air, incomplete.
Well, that's what Polamalu will do. He's like the Energizer Bunny, the guy boundless out there. He'll come up to the line. You'll think he's blitzing when in fact he may even have the deep middle of the field in coverage. The guy might cover 30-40 yards just in fakes before the ball's even snapped, trying to set up the offense.
So Randall L., dangerous kick returner. Dual runner at the 30-yard line. And the punt by Chris Hansen. Hangs it high. We saw Randall L. check the room to run, and they got some block down the sidelines. Only the kicker to beat, and he's on his way for a touchdown. Antoine Randall L.
Well, normally on a punt return, you could look at several blocks. On this one, it looked like just one was the difference. Right on the contain to keep Randall L. from going up the sidelines. Watch this crushing blocks. Watch this block. Is it Williams? No, I don't think so.
Jeremy Tooman, I believe.
Jeremy Tooman. It looked like number 84.
Boy, that was easy.
It was either 84 or 94. I couldn't get his number.
It could have been Andre Frazier as well. But that was a freeing block by the Steeler as the extra point hit by Reed. And quickly, Pittsburgh outplayed the entire opening quarter, has taken a 14-7 lead with only a minute 10 gone in the second period.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. Eating good in the neighborhood. Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours. And by the Acura MDX with electronic four-wheel drive.
Randall L. flowing like the Monongahela. 72 yards for a touchdown, his fourth kick return score as a Steeler. 3 of those on punts. And none much easier than that one. Untouched for the 14-7 Pittsburgh lead. Jeff Reed sends it deep. Wimbush from a yard in his own end zone. And he's caught from behind, tries to wiggle free and smothered at the 19. It was Sean Morey down there around the ankles. Back with a reminder, Thursday Survivor Individual Immunity is on the line. Ex-NFL quarterback Gary Hogeboom. Can he make it through the next round? Don't miss an exciting new episode of TV's #1 reality show, Survivor, on CBS Thursday night on America's most watched network. From the 19, Leftwich throws underneath to his tight end Kyle Brady, and the veteran to the 27, a gain of 8.
Well, let's go back and look at that punt return from Antoine Randall L. And it is Andre Frazier, the rookie, who gets this hit. Take a listen to this thing. Good job by Randall L. And there was a hit by Frazier. And then, of course, Hansen has no shot in the open field of getting a hit on Randall L. What a beautiful catch to begin with, and then a great block from the rookie Frazier.
That's a good point about the catch. We overlook how that isn't always easy.
No.
Jones on second and short, and he's able to burrow his way for a first down to the 30 as Aaron Smith and others on the tackle.
And Dick, in reality, it was an excellent punt by Hansen. It pinned Randall L. right on the sidelines. You know, you take away half the field when you do that. You basically only have to defend from the hash marks to the sideline, and yet Jacksonville couldn't defend that. That great block by Frazier sprang Randall L.
Took the short route. I think Jacksonville thought he'd go cross field. One block freed him. First down at the 30. Leftwich to the sidelines, complete. Alvin Pierman, touted rookie from Virginia, does a lot of things well. Runs well, returns, kicks. Good receiver. Followed Tiki Barber and Thomas Jones. Backs build along his line at the University of Virginia. He's 5'10", 206.
And again, for those of you that weren't with us at the very beginning, Fred Taylor, who is the main man in the Jacksonville running game because of an ankle that he sprained last week, is inactive for today's game.
So Jones and Pierman sharing the duties with Leftwich. 2nd and 4. Pierman on the draw. And Steelers all over that. Porter was in the backfield, changed Pierman's course, and then he went right into the teeth of the Steeler defense.
And Fred Taylor very much wanted to play in this game when we talked to him yesterday. And Dick, he likes Pittsburgh.
Does he ever? He's got a trophy case that has some of the old Three Rivers turf in it.
234 yards, 4 touchdowns in a game in 2000 over at the old Three Rivers. The stadium may be gone, but Fred's memories are very vivid.
3rd and 4 now for Leftwich in the shotgun, and look at all the defensive looks, and here they come. The throw complete underneath, however, to Ernest Wilford. And the rangy wide receiver from Virginia Tech, he's 6'4", has the first down. Well, you talked about Fred Taylor. Indeed, pleasant memories playing in the Steel City. This is Week 12, 2000 season. Taylor runs for 234, an all-time Jaguars record. Scored 3 rushing touchdowns and another on a pass reception as Jacksonville won the game 34-24.
And Dick wasn't kidding. He really does have a couple swatches of the old Three Rivers carpet in his trophy case.
On first down, it's Jones. And nothing much there at all. Well, more on Fred Taylor. Let's go down to Armin Kateya.
Well, Dan, you mentioned those swatches. They come courtesy of the Jaguars PR director, Dan Edwards, who was able to get them from the guy who was in head of the field at the old stadium at Three Rivers. Fred told us they're at home, as you said in my trophy case, reminding him of a game he says I'll never forget, in part because of the record, but also because it was the home to one of his heroes growing up, Franco Harris. Back to you, Dick.
Edwards, of course, was a former PR director here in Pittsburgh, so you know the right guy to call. 2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz after Leftwich. He lobs the screen complete to Pierman, and Pierman dumped as he crosses the 50-yard line at the 48. Ike Taylor at the corner with a tackle.
Well, that is a good look at an offense making an adjustment to the blitz. Here comes the cross blitz right up the middle. It's picked up well enough to allow Leftwich to make the adjustment, and he finds the rookie. And it was a good job of Pierman having awareness that the blitz was on, quickly alter his route, look to his quarterback because the ball is coming to him in a hurry.
3rd down for Jacksonville at the Steeler 48. Pierman in the backfield, now Leftwich, and here comes the blitz again. Hand off to Pierman, and nothing much at all, maybe a yard. Kimo von Oelhoffen. Here's a big old guy from Boise State, grew up in Molokai in Hawaii. They didn't even have a high school football team, and no one talks much about it. I had a visit with Marty Schottenheimer after the game, Dan, against San Diego on Monday night. He said, this guy here is always making plays.
You know, maybe if he really became a really good player, they'd get him a jersey that fits. I know these defensive linemen are wearing jerseys now where they don't want the offensive lineman to be able to grab anything, but whoa, that's not a great look.
Hansen, do you know who? Inside the 5, lets it go, and it's the touchback. Wisely not fielded by Antoine Randall. So we've reached the 8:16 mark of the second quarter here in Pittsburgh. Steelers 14, Jaguars 7.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Charles Schwab. Investing? Talk to someone who actually listens. Talk to Chuck. Charles Schwab, 1-800-4-SCHWAB. And by Miller. There's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call.
Back in Pittsburgh, and today MetLife providing the aerial coverage of all the action. Look to the skies for the MetLife blimps as they team up with CBS for coverage throughout the fall. Maddox throws on first down, and it's incomplete. Pass off the mark, and Randall L. could not twist and grab.
Well, Tommy Maddox has had I guess we could say an up and down start to this game. He starts off the game by throwing an interception to Terry Cousin on an underthrown ball. Then Mike Peterson makes a really good interception, but again, he threw it into the middle of the field. But he came back with a touchdown pass to his rookie tight end Heath Miller, who fights through a lot of traffic. And it was all Jacksonville early, but guess what? Pittsburgh has the lead.
They scored 2 touchdowns in 62 seconds early in this second quarter. That catch by Miller for a score is 3rd of the season. And then the Randall Hill touchdown on the punt return.
Offense, number 73, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, Jerome Bettis gets in the game, and his carry is negated because of a holding call against Kendall Simmons, the right guard.
No coach is fond of that flag, and he's going to do a little talking to his offensive line when they come off. He's talking upstairs to his assistant.
And the closer they are to your own goal line, the more critical they are.
And now an empty backfield, as you see Pittsburgh rushing for only a 2.6 average. Empty backfield. as Maddox drifts back to throw. Deflected again, incomplete. As Antoine Randall, even with his acrobatic talent, unable to one-hand that one. Somebody batted it up front.
Tremendous size on this Jacksonville defensive line. All defensive linemen conditioned. If you're not there yet, get up in the air. We're taking a look there at Reggie Hayward working against Max Starks. That ball actually hit Max Starks in the back of the helmet. What the heck? A defensive lineman didn't even have to go up for that. That ball hit his right tackle in the back of the noodle.
So 3rd and 20. Maddox goes to the shotgun. That's for Ron Haynes in the backfield with him. And it's Haynes with a catch. Behind some beef, he's able to carry it out across the 20, but well shy of a first down.
Well, a field position play right there. A quick pass to set up the screen, pick up some yardage. At least the shadows aren't across your own goal line. A late flag.
Offense. 2 men moving prior to the snap. Did not reset. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Boy, that's surprising because the penalty if taken would have put the ball on the 5-yard line.
Well, Jack Del Rio making the decision. I'll take the football, but I'm with you, Dick. That would have been, what, a 3rd and what, 25?
Yes, at the 5.
At the 5. I kind of like my odds on a 3rd and 25 at the 5-yard line.
Instead, it's Gardocki and send his left foot into a punt with Alvin Pierman back at the Jacksonville 35. Short kick, and he'll let it roll. And down at the 44. So good field position on a 35-yard Gardocki punt. Reminder tonight, CBS, Bill Romanowski. You saw part of the interview on NFL Today. Known for his toughness, the linebacker, one of the most vicious hitters. He comes undone on 60 Minutes tonight, followed by a new episode of Cold Case. Then Chuck Norris returns as Walker, Texas Ranger. It's a world premiere movie. That's all tonight on CBS, America's most watched network. I've done my first Romo promo.
And did it well.
Thank you. Leftwich blindsided and fumbles a free ball, and the Jaguars able to scoop it up as Joey Porter came in quickly. Chris Naoli able to cover the air.
Now Leftwich never saw Porter coming from his complete blind side. Look at the left side of your screen. Joey Porter gets around the block. Byron Leftwich, no chance whatsoever. And Naoli, the only guy close to the football. Byron Leftwich hadn't even identified a receiver yet when he's hit by Joey Porter.
Porter made the Pro Bowl because of that kind of work the last 2 years. Has his 4th sack of the season. Handoff inside. And you're not going to get much against big Casey Hampton. Number 98. He was the number 1 pick of the Steelers in 2001. Out all of last year with knee surgery. 325 on a 6'1" frame. And he just is almost impossible to move with one man.
Well, you can't play the 3-4 without having that rock at the nose tackle position. And Chris Hoke came in and did a pretty good job last year. But again, if you don't have the immovable object at the nose tackle position, you're already fighting an uphill battle trying to play a 3-4.
On 3rd and 18, Leftwich is going long. Incomplete to Reggie Williams. Williams did have a half step on Chidi Iwoma. Extra defensive back. 6 DBs on that defense for Pittsburgh.
And I think that coverage by Iwoma actually forced Leftwich to throw the ball just a touch farther than he wanted to. And he did not have any margin of error short. That was very good coverage.
Antoine Randall drifts back to the 20 as Hansen punts. Toward the sidelines again. Stays in bounds. Same route. And steps out of bounds. And when he initially took off, it appeared he had a corridor again.
Man, you got the guy 2 feet from the sidelines. You'd think containment wouldn't be a problem.
11 yards on the return of a 49-yard punt. Hines Ward appreciating the action as a spectator. Big CBS doubleheader day, folks. And coming up after this game, Tom Brady, Patriots battle Jake Plummer and the Broncos. Some of you will see the Jets and the Bills. Others, the Chargers and the Raiders. All outstanding games next. So check your local listings.
Those are 3 really good games.
From the 25, Jerome Bettis saw his first duty of the season on Monday night. Didn't expect to get 17 carries, but was the workhorse down the stretch. Had a touchdown and chewed up a lot of time on that final possession.
Even though that game in San Diego was played at sea level, Jerome said air was a little hard to find. He thought he was going to kind of glide back into things with maybe 8 or 9 carries. He was surprised by the 17, but he got through it, came out the other side, and is probably better for it today.
Fake to Bettis. Maddox looking deep. No one open, so he takes off. Now throws on the run. Almost picked off.
4 people, Dick. Whoa, 4 Jaguars were within a yard or 2 of that football.
And Deion Grant thought he had an interception.
Tommy Maddox does everything right here. He's got good protection. Really doesn't have to leave the pocket, but this is a bad decision trying to get the ball to Randall L. Too many white jerseys surrounding him.
And this is where the Jaguars defense has really been shining. 3rd and 6 and longer this year. Only 4 of 32 conversions by their opponents.
And Pittsburgh's going to take a timeout.
With 3rd down and 8, staring at the Steelers, they lead 14-7. Maddox and the Steelers fortunate to still have the football, as Deion Grant may be interfered with by his own teammates. There were so many there trying to pick off that Maddox throw. Ball is at the 28. Pittsburgh in front by a touchdown. 3rd and 8 the call. Wilson in motion. Throws long and no one there. A lot of folks wondering what Maddox is looking at. Charlie Batch, for a while, everyone thought Batch would be the starter this week because they didn't think Maddox was healthy enough to play. But Maddox, after staying at home while the team went to San Diego, said that calf improved dramatically, and so he was the call for Bill Cowher to start today.
And Batch, who's normally number 3, is number 2. Roethlisberger, who's normally number 1, is number 3. And Maddox, who's normally number 2, but he was number 3, is now number 1.
I knew you were a math minor. A floater to Pierman at the 40. And he's near midfield before the tackle from Brett Keisel. Only 33 on the punt. A little extra activity. A couple of players wrestled to the turf back at the Pittsburgh 38.
And luckily everyone's separated without any punches being thrown. You can always have a little push, a little shove in the NFL. You can't throw a punch, though. And I think seeing what happened in that Baltimore-Detroit game, I think we all realize that the NFL is very good at not tolerating. They realize that this is a tough enough, hard-hitting game as it is. You can't let anything get out of control down on the field. And more often than not, I think you have to say the players in the NFL police themselves pretty well.
Trailing by a touchdown, Leftwich the quick throw out to Reggie Williams, trying to spin away, but good coverage by Willie Williams, the veteran, the last of the Steelers to play in that Super Bowl 30 against the Dallas Cowboys. Willie with 26 career picks and 4 touchdowns, savvy on the corner.
Well, there aren't many 13-year veteran cornerbacks still playing this game. It's a young man's game when you're out there on the corner by yourself. You got a little age to you. Maybe you can slide over and get another couple years at safety.
Only 2 yards on the play, so back to the ground. And Pierman tripped up as he crosses the 50. Ike Taylor makes the tackle. 4 minutes left in the half.
Well, this is the way you do it on a defense. You don't give ground, you string it out, and you make the running back go parallel to the line of scrimmage, and then when he turned upfield, Ike Taylor was there to make the tackle. I don't think that play was designed to get that far to the outside. Pittsburgh just strung it out very well.
Saw James Ferrier, All-Pro last year, finished second behind Ed Reed as the most valuable player on defense in the league. He calls the plays. It's 3rd and 7. Quick throw, incomplete, right through the hands of veteran Jimmy Smith. He won't drop many of those.
Boy, he had a big 3rd down drop last week that would have moved the chains, and here's another chain-moving pass from Byron Leftwich. He delivers it perfectly right to Jimmy Smith. I mean, right there. That was an extremely well-thrown ball from Leftwich.
There's Antoine Randall with that scintillating 72-yard punt return touchdown. Waits for another chance. This one is sky high. Chris Hansen. And does it go out of bounds? Yes! What a kick at the 3-yard line. He leads the NFL with now 16 punts inside the 20, and that was a beauty. Reminder, Wednesday on CBS, see why Criminal Minds is America's #1 new crime drama. Catch a new episode of the hit series starring Mandy Patinkin Wednesday on CBS, America's most watched network.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Chicken wings, football, having your face painted. And it is an absolutely beautiful day for football. A little gusty, but the temperature for football is great.
Bettis in the backfield with the series starting at the 3, and all that beef up front, Stroud and Henderson, and backed up by Spicer and the backers. A gain of maybe a yard. Well, we told you that Jacksonville in the first quarter has not allowed a score all year. No one else has done that. If you look at some of the other statistics in this game, Pittsburgh in this quarter has been omnipotent. 51-7 they've outscored their opponents in the second quarter.
Make you think that they're a pretty good team.
On second down, the bus. And right into Mike Peterson. What a pickup he was from the Colts, Peterson.
Oh, he sure was. But even the bus can't go anywhere in gridlock. And that's what the big boys inside are. Look at this. There is nothing here for Jerome Bettis. First of all, stacked up right at the line, and then Mike Peterson from the middle linebacker position flows right over. See him 54? He flows right into the hole, and the minute Jerome turns upfield, there's Peterson already squared up in the hole waiting for him.
Yeah, what did Peterson say to us yesterday? I'm all geeked up. I know I'm going to get some tackles.
He said this is why you play linebacker, to play in a game like this, because you know Pittsburgh is coming right at you. It's why you play linebacker.
2 minutes, timeout in Pittsburgh. Beautiful sight. What a great day for football here in mid-October. Temperature around 60 and out on the river. Some fans perhaps being shuttled to and from the game or waiting for their pickup as the Steelers on their own 5, 3rd and 8. They're 0-5 on 3rd downs today. The toss is to Veron Haynes, and he gets only a couple. This Jaguar defense has, other than a couple of mistakes on penalty calls that aided Pittsburgh on their only scoring drive, the other was a special teams touchdown, have played very well. Timeout, 1:50 left in the half. So the Steelers have to punt from their own end zone. Gardocki with Alvin Pierman out at the 45 of Pittsburgh. The last couple of Gardocki kicks have been short. Here they come. Oh, it's blocked. And it skids off the foot and out of bounds around the 16-yard line. That's the second block punt in 2 weeks. It was Rashean Mathis who was right in on top of Gardocki. It's fortunate that ball wasn't batted right back in his face.
Well, take a look. Rashean Mathis is coming from the right side of your screen. He comes around that corner, and he is untouched. And Chris Gardocki gets a punt blocked. And what wonderful field position now for Jacksonville. They were wise to take that timeout. Now they got plenty of time and 2 timeouts left.
And they give this to Pierman, and Pierman twists inside the 10-yard line. Back to Mathis. That's the second block for him this year. He blocked a field goal at Denver. And last week, it was Derek Wimbush who blocked a punt against Cincinnati. So Del Rio special teams have come through in that regard.
And weren't you saying something earlier about Chris Gardocki and blocked punts?
Yeah, it's a 9-yard punt. I don't know if they call that a total block. No, they don't, because he did get positive yardage.
But it got blocked. But you're right. It won't go into the record books as a blocked punt.
But that's what it was. Jones is free, and he's to the goal line. It is short by about a half yard. He tried to reach over, but he was already down. Larry Foote with a tackle. It'll be 1st and goal inside the 1 for the Jaguars.
Well, you know, games like this between 2 similar teams, it's all about field position and plays on special teams. And Jacksonville really, really close to capitalizing on this block punt by Rashean Mathis.
They use no timeout here. They've got 2, 34, 33 seconds to give. Inside Jones, he's smothered, and he's short of the goal line.
Well, they got to use one here.
They haven't yet. 24, it's still running. Now it's called at the 23-second mark. Jacksonville a yard away from tying it up. Defensive coordinator Dick LeBeau trying to come up with some magic now with a ball tickling the goal line. 2nd and goal, Jacksonville, with 23 seconds left in the half.
James Ferrier and a lot of the Steelers defenders trying to get the crowd in this end zone fired up. And they get some cooperation.
Jones is the tailback. Fake to him. Throw into the end zone. Incomplete. It was for John Henderson. Big John Henderson, the defensive tackle in the game. They tried to lob it up to him, but it was overthrown by Leftwich.
Well, we saw Carolina, how they like to put Julius Peppers in a situation to take advantage of a big defensive lineman. This time it's John Henderson trying to, make himself a big target. Unfortunately for Jacksonville, Larry Foote wasn't fooled at all. Outstanding coverage by the linebacker, the Steelers, who went with Henderson step for step.
Both Stroud and Henderson are in there as blockers. 3rd and goal. Jones. Is he in? No signal yet.
Well, 2nd effort, he ended up across the goal line, but no, they're not giving it to him.
And the clock is running, and 7-6. They have another timeout, but they better hurry. 4-3. Now the time is called with 3 seconds showing. And will Jack Del Rio go on a 4th down or kick the field goal? How close was that last carry to a touchdown?
Well, let's look at that one more time. And remember, this is a situation we're inside the 2-minute warning, so it's up to the replay official upstairs. He's taking a look at this. It's not up to the coaches on the sideline. The ball was reached across the goal line, but it looked to me well after he was down.
Only a few blades of grass separate the Jaguars from tying it up, and they go for it on 4th down. Well, both sides of the line moved.
Well, you could see the Steelers looked to me like they flinched first. And if this is an offensive penalty, they'll have a 10-second runoff.
False start. Offense. Number 65. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Let's take a look at this one more time. Let's look for the movement. It looked to me like some of the Steelers flinched first.
Yeah, they did.
Which they did. But then Jacksonville gets called for the false start.
Yeah, but they've been calling that on the defense, not today.
Yes. And I'm incorrect. There is not a 10-second runoff in this situation.
A dead ball.
With it being a dead ball because of the false start.
So Scobie, after the penalty, barely gets it through, and that one was touched by one of the Steelers.
Somebody for sure touched that.
And it deflects through for a hard-earned 3 points for Jack Del Rio's Jaguars. They were denied from the 1-yard line on 4 shots.
Watch a big hand come up here in the middle. Is it
Aaron Smith at the half? 14-10 Pittsburgh. We'll be back afterward from your local station. Then we'll go to our Sprint halftime report. And ready for the second half here in Pittsburgh as we look at the halftime statistics, and surprisingly favoring Jacksonville.
Well, take a look at that. Pittsburgh 65 yards total offense, 2 turnovers. They have yet to convert a third down. They're losing and they're winning the game thanks to Randall L's punt return.
14-10.
A miserable statistical performance for Pittsburgh so far.
And for Jack Del Rio, a couple of tough calls for him. The 4th and 1 went for it 2 times.
Well, nobody can say that Jack Del Rio is not being aggressive on the road. He's very much in makeable field goal range early in the game. He goes for it on 4th down. He gets stuffed, does not convert, and then down again he's going for it on 4th down. That would have been the last play of the first half. They were called for the false start, so they got a chance to go ahead and get 3 points out of it. But boy, he is being aggressive on the road.
Well, let's learn what he had to say coming out on the field, because Armin Katayan was able to talk with him. Apparently we're having some technical difficulties, and we'll get that report from Armin later. Del Rio, who played his college ball at Southern California after 11 years in the NFL as a linebacker, and made the Pro Bowl 1 year, assistant coach, and now in his 3rd season as the head man in Jacksonville. And there's no question, like Bill Cowher, their linebacker training brings a certain amount of aggressive attitude to the sidelines of these 2 teams.
I guess what made the first one really curious to me was that he does have one of the most reliable and strong-legged kickers in the NFL in Scobie, and especially a guy who so consistently comes through for it. But you know what, head coaches sometimes they just have to go by feel. They get they have a gut feeling on how the game is going, and obviously 2 guys here that aren't afraid to take a chance.
And Bill Cowher has to be pleased. Outplayed much of the first half, but in the lead 14-10 as we get going in the second half. And the kickoff down to Derek Wimbush. And he is straight forward to the 30-yard line.
Well, as we go ahead and check our fantasy notebook, I don't think we're going to see anything leaping out at us here. Byron Leftwich at 50%, but only 39 yards passing, of course. Turnovers, but there is a touchdown pass in there for Maddox. Rushing, Jones got off to the great start. That's a good half at 74 yards. Pittsburgh, though, can't run the ball at all. Randall L, though, 2 receptions, but the key in this game, his punt return.
Pierman now a tailback, and Jones moves to fullback, and Pierman tackled in the backfield by Joey Porter.
Well, Joey Porter coming on a run blitz. He's coming off that corner, and look at that. There is no way that Khalif Barnes, the tackle, can keep him from getting in there. And it's not every day you see a linebacker and a running back at the quarterback at exactly the same time as the handoff.
That defined blowing up a play.
Yes, that certainly did.
Porter, what a defensive menace he is.
Lucky there wasn't a fumble there.
4-yard loss on the play. Here comes the blitz again, and the draw play to Pierman, but little gain for Jacksonville. Let's go to Armin Katayan.
Well, back in communication here, Dick. Jack Del Rio really bending Terry McCauley's ear going off the field, telling him and telling me that he thought that the Steelers had flinched on that goal line stand there, and also that the Jaguars had scored on the 3rd down. I asked him why go for it. He gave me a look literally that would melt ice, and I said, why? On the road with this kind of environment? He said, absolutely. Asked for Cowher. He said, we're getting beat on both of the lines of scrimmage, but it's a 60-minute fight, and we're in it. Back to you.
All right, good report, Armin. Thank you. Del Rio had reason to argue, no question, that Pittsburgh flinched first. There's a long bomb by Leftwich to Williams, and he's got it inside the 35-yard line. Polamalu, oh, that's going to be a flag. Polamalu didn't need to throw him down out of bounds, but Reggie Williams have been waiting for him to develop as a long bomb threat, and he comes up with a big catch there.
Well, right there, Troy Polamalu is the beneficiary.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 43.
Yeah, Polamalu,
down out of bounds,
who had a scrape last week in the Monday night game in San Diego. Now, he made the right play. He does have to get Williams down, but he can clearly see that he's out of bounds. Troy Polamalu is actually looking towards the sideline. He realized that if he threw Williams to the ground, they both were going to be well out of bounds. It's just out of character for Polamalu.
He is about as soft-spoken and deep-thinking football players we've ever met. 41 yards on the pass, then the penalty inside the 20, and now the give. And streaking through is Alvin Pierman down to the 10-yard line, a gain of 8. Let's go back to Monday night in San Diego, and even the Steeler teammates were surprised at Polamalu's attitude.
Well, there's going to be a fracas here over on the sidelines. Polamalu didn't like the fact that he was being blocked. And again, it's just so out of character for Troy Polamalu, a guy who's really become one of the premier safeties in the game of football. He's mentioned right up there with Dawkins and Reed and people like that.
2nd and 2. And Pierman once again on those plays down on the goal line. The Jacksonville backs have been taking the little hop first and then going forward instead of a straight attack at the Steeler defense. And by the time they get going, there's nothing but black jerseys there. No gain. And there's Uncle Kennedy Pola. It was Polamalu when he was on the islands of American Samoa. And when he came to the U.S. to play at Southern Cal, they just shortened it to Kennedy Pola. He's the uncle of Troy. They make contact once a week.
And he is the Jaguars running back coach. And right now he'd like to see a little more room for his guys.
Jacksonville calls the timeout. The terrible towels are out in Pittsburgh, and you can see Jacksonville this year, 4 touchdowns in 10 trips. It's 3rd and 2 at the 10. They stack up the line of scrimmage. Leftwich lobs it into the end zone. It's caught by Jones, the rookie. Does it count? A flag is down, and so is Leftwich.
Roughing the passer. Defense, number 43.
They talked about
automatic first down.
They talked about number 18, Matt Jones, when he was the surprise first-round pick, and they said super hands. He's a basketball player at Arkansas.
Well, Terry McCauley said automatic first down. He didn't realize that it was actually a touchdown catch by Matt Jones. The penalty on Troy Polamalu, and he comes in, and that is clear. He takes a full step and pops Leftwich right in the chest. But this was after Matt Jones makes a sensational catch in the back of the end zone for a Jacksonville touchdown. Well, what a one-handed snare by the kid.
How's that to break in with your first NFL reception for a touchdown? And a red flag comes out, and Bill Cowher may be questioning whether or not Jones was in the end zone when he finally had full possession.
Well, this will be about the 2nd foot.
Pittsburgh has challenged the ruling on the field, but the play resulted in a touchdown. Timeout.
Didn't appear to be even a question about that, but we'll look at it again.
On our way to commercial, snags it with the right hand. Question is, did he have possession in the end zone?
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sonic. It's not just good, it's Sonic good. Capital One, what's in your wallet? And by Cadillac, introducing the new 2006 DTS. Cadillac, breakthrough.
Terry McCauley.
After review, the receiver controlled the ball with 2 hands with his right foot on the ground, then stepped with his left foot inbounds. The result of the play is a touchdown, as ruled on the field. Pittsburgh is charged with their first team timeout.
And I think Terry McCauley makes a great call, because watch this. Watch Matt Jones. Watch his right foot. There it goes down. He's controlling the ball in that right hand. The ball's not bobbling. The ball is not moving. There goes the left foot. I think the fact that the second time the right foot comes down out of bounds, that doesn't matter. He already had possession in the end zone. What a play by the rookie.
And Scobie adds the extra point. And remember, they'll be kicking off from the 45 on the Polamalu penalty. We're back, and the MetLife blimp is as well with a great aerial coverage. We'll see the MetLife blimps throughout the fall here on CBS.
And this is river number 1, the Monongahela. River number 2, the Allegheny. The confluence here, and number 4, the Ohio River.
Oh my! That's not only good at mathematics, but geography too. And kicking off from the 45, and Cedric Wilson will kneel it down and take the 20-yard line. Troy Polamalu with a couple of personal fouls here in the third quarter.
Again, we talked about it's just not like this guy, but here he tackles Reggie Williams well out of bounds. Go ahead and tackle him, but that throw to the ground, you know, and here on the touchdown pass, Byron Leftwich gets popped well after he threw the ball to Matt Jones. It was marked off on the kickoff. And Pittsburgh starts at their 20.
Trailing again, 17-14, and Tommy Maddox to throw. Has the man open on the sidelines, and it's Cedric Wilson. His first catch today, his 8th of the season.
Well, a rare situation where a Pittsburgh receiver was being given a cushion by one of the guys in the Jacksonville secondary. Cedric Wilson was given all sorts of room. Take a look at that, and Maddox identifies it in a hurry. And this is a relatively easy pitch and catch. Mathis giving all sorts of room there on the left side.
It's a first down play, and now back to Parker. Gets by a linebacker, but is tripped up at the 35-yard line. Aiken Adell will be credited with a tackle.
For those of you that I confused when I said Mathis giving up a lot of room on the left side, because I was talking about a defensive player, I was talking about the defensive left side. Even though to the offense's right was the completion. So
you got it all going.
No,
today.
I'm just trying to. I know somebody out there went, "What's he talking about? That pass was to the right."
I do that every Sunday. They give inside this time, and some room again for Parker, and finally down at the 47-yard line. Steelers first down.
Well, rare room for a Pittsburgh running back in this game. This time Willie Parker, and it's actually between the tackles. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the fact that he ran into the back of Heath Miller that really slowed him down, he would have busted this, I think, for even more yardage. He had to do a spin to get away from his own tight end downfield blocking.
Longest run of the game for Pittsburgh, 12 yards. And he's caught in the backfield, swings wide, and loses a couple back to the 44 as Darrell Smith, Georgia Tech, second year linebacker, makes a stop, but it was Marcus Stroud who had invaded the backfield and forced it wide.
You know, Marcus Stroud, what an affable guy. It's always fun to sit down and talk to him. A smile that just goes from ear to ear. But Dick, never am I around him where I'm not impressed by how big he is.
Oh, he fills the room.
What's he got?
Went to Barney, Georgia, population 250 in his town until he moved away. Then it was 240. Parker caught in the backfield at the 40 by Paul Spicer. And here's a story. Paul Spicer's brother was murdered in Indianapolis on Thursday. He went home to be with family and decided that the best for him in this emotional time was to be with his team, his teammates, and he returns to play today in this game. He's offered a $20,000 reward for anyone leading to the murderer's capture and penalty.
He's coming back to you.
3rd and 17. Maddox on the run. Has to throw it away. Complete to one of the assistants of the Steelers.
Well, and that's certainly a better alternative than throwing it into traffic, which was some of the decision-making that was going on in the first. I'm sorry, that got distracted. How did he get his head inside that?
He had to be an old sportscaster.
There's a little compression going on.
Gardocki, who had his punt partially blocked by Mathis for only 9 yards late in the first half that led to the field goal. This one is high to Pierman. Doesn't fair catch it. And pays the price at the 23. Andre Frazier was down there in a hurry. 8:40 left in the third. The visitors by 3.
First down.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by AOL. Want a better internet? You belong at AOL. And by Hummer. Check out the new H3. Hummer, like nothing else.
The decline on the incline across the river. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 17-14. Jacksonville with the lead and the ball at their own 23. Fake and Leftwich on the run, throwing a wide open on the far side is Jimmy Smith. And Smith has his second catch as he moves up on the all-time list of NFL receivers. We go to New York.
All right, Dick, at Tennessee, Chris Brown, his second touchdown of the day, 9 yards around the left side into the end zone with the extra point. The Titans with a 7-point lead on the Bengals, 17-10. Dick and Dan, back to you.
All right, Greg, the Bengals who lost their first game in Jacksonville last Sunday night. So the 2 catches by Smith give him 8-14. That ties him with Henry Ellard for number 11 all time. Inside to Jones, and the guy they call Tank able to plow forward for a couple. Foot and Von Oelhoffen make the stop.
Well, you could hear that pop all the way up here in the broadcast booth. Those were what's called tough yards. This Pittsburgh defense, they pride themselves on not giving anybody a chance to run. They held LaDainian Tomlinson last week to 68 yards. They've gone, 18 games now without allowing a 100-yard rusher, including the playoffs last year. A lot of pride in not letting anyone run the ball on them.
As you saw on StatTrax, Jones was 76. And this is Pierman, only a couple on that carry. James Harrison makes the stop. Just back on Jimmy Smith as we look forward. With the 2 catches, he has 8-14. That ties him with Ellard. With 1 more catch, he ties Shannon Sharp at 8-15 for the 10th spot. And he's only a few grabs away from Steve Largent at number 9. Now here quietly, Jimmy Smith, the second oldest receiver in the league, moving up into the real elite all time in the NFL.
Jimmy's still a productive player at 36. Hard to do.
3rd and 7, and here they come after Leftwich throwing deep and almost intercepted. Ike Taylor had a great chance as the double team against Reggie Williams.
Well, Ike Taylor talking to Willie Williams, because I think if it's not for the fact that the 2 of them collide, Ike Taylor's going to come away with the interception. But Willie Williams was there with the double coverage, and the 2 of them tangled up, and I think that kept Ike Taylor from pulling it down.
Here's the man who has kept the Steelers in this game with that 72-yard punt return for a touchdown in the second quarter. Antoine Randall L. back. And the punt by Hansen. Fair catch at the 12. 6:28 left in the third quarter. Jacksonville by 3. 63,891 at Heinz Field. There's a look at the AFC North with Cincinnati 4-1 but behind. Pittsburgh trying to pressure them at the top of the standings. Cleveland at 2-2, losing at the moment to Baltimore. Maddox to Parker. Short yardage to about the 14-yard line. In case you're just joining us and wondering where's Hines Ward, there he is, out of uniform. First time ever, going all the way back to a kid. Never missed a game in high school, college, or in the NFL. In fact, he told us never missed many practices, and he went throughout the week without practicing. He's got a hamstring injury, and Bill Cowher wanted to save in. And Big Ben Roethlisberger, you saw that hit on his knee against San Diego on Monday night. He said he was ready to play, but Cowher again would rather give him a week's rest and be sure and not endanger him, further aggravate that knee injury. Maddox throws, and foul's going to be called on Rashean Mathis, as again he and Antoine Randall L. bump, and the receiver for the Steelers goes down.
Pass interference, defense, number 27. Automatic, first down.
Well, this is the best on the best. This is the best cover man for the Jaguars against the best receiver on the field right now for the Steelers. And actually, that was a case of Randall L. He got his feet tangled up. I couldn't see a whole lot of contact. I guess there was a shove in the back from Mathis, but boy, that was it looked more like he got his feet tangled up than a shove.
Yeah, pretty thin. So first down, and Maddox looking long, gets out of the cup. 40. And he slides at the 48, and he gets a hit. That'll be a foul on Deke Cooper. Cooper coming in late, and you're required to acknowledge.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 35, elbow to the head, 15-yard penalty, first down.
The quarterback is untouchable when he does a hook slide. If he goes head first, you can hit him. But he goes into the head slide, and Cooper comes on in and puts a shoulder on him anyway. And that looked like something that Cooper could have stayed away from. I know you're asking a lot. You've built up momentum. You're coming in. But you know that QB is going to do a hook slide right in front of you.
This is
just can't do it.
And Dan, this is remindful of the Pittsburgh touchdown that tied it at 7-7 when they were aided by 44 yards worth of Jacksonville penalties. Mike Peterson able to drag down Willie Parker as Peterson adds to his team leading total as the top tackler as he was last year and the year before. And there's Fred Taylor, just as Pittsburgh without two of their stars, Ward and Roethlisberger. Taylor, the top rusher for the Jaguars, sits this one out. He thought he might play. He told us yesterday that he figured he would play. He has a right ankle injury. And 2nd and 6, the fake. Maddox throws on the run short, and Randall L was closest receiver, but Maddox not quite the same thrower when he is flushed out of the pocket. Not many are.
No, not many are. But again, if you're going to err, always err on the side of caution. And I think Tommy Maddox stung a couple times early in this game. I suspect that after the talk at halftime, he's going to be a little hesitant to throw it into traffic on a low percentage throw.
3rd and a long 6. Maddox has yet to make a 3rd down conversion. 0 for 7. And this one misfires.
Ooh, and that was a very makeable completion. Cedric Wilson is wide open, and Tommy just didn't put a lot on this ball. He's got the pattern, run the correct distance, but that ball just nosedives down into the ground. It went right through the hands of Wilson, but if that ball was a couple feet higher, I think that would have been a pretty easy completion.
When his jaw is farther projected than his nose, you know you're probably not wanting to look at or chat with your head coach Cowher.
But we all know that jaw's been there before.
You bet. Gardocki high. Pierman lets it go, and they can't cover. It was Willie Parker. No, Chidi Iwoma who had a chance to grab it at the 1-yard line. Timeout. Jack Del Rio at 42, the 2nd youngest head coach behind John Gruden. Interesting day for him.
Well, here's how the scoring went so far today. Greg Jones power dissing in off the right side for the first score of the game for Jacksonville. Then Heath Miller, the rookie tight end, gets a pass from Maddox. But boy, watch him break tackles, power his way into the end zone for the first Pittsburgh. Then Randall L. Take a look at this. A great block from his rookie linebacker, Andre Frazier. He puts a move on Hansen, and Antoine Randall L. goes the distance. And then finally, look at this one-handed catch by Matt Jones, another rookie, making a statement here this afternoon at Heinz Field. And that's where we stand, 17-14. It hasn't been a yardage explosion by any stretch of the imagination. You can see the Jacksonville a decided edge in time of possession. The Pittsburgh offense hasn't come anywhere close to getting on track.
It's interesting in that game summary, the 2 number 1 picks, Heath Miller and Matt Jones both scoring a touchdown today.
Well, it'll be the day that those two guys will never forget. Those balls, I'm sure, are over in the trunks on the sidelines being saved for the guy to paint them up. And what would make it nicer for both of those kids is if the guy could paint on that ball that they won the game as well.
From the 20, Greg Jones, the running back, behind Leftwich. And Jones with a carry. And Danson won't do it against that Pittsburgh defense. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Dick, at Tennessee, Steve McNair's pass will pop up into the air. It is picked off by the outstanding rookie Odell Thurman, who returns 30 yards for the touchdown. They have gone to the fourth quarter at Tennessee. Cincinnati and the Titans are tied at 17. Dick and Dan, back to you.
Another tight game, and just like yesterday, what a college football day it was yesterday. I can't remember more dramatic results than the play we watched yesterday. Here comes the blitz, and Leftwich has to hurry his throw and completes it to his tight end Kyle Brady, the former Jet. Harmon, you've got a report for us.
I sure do, Dick, on Byron Leftwich. You know, you've talked about kind of the wayward path players take to the league. Byron certainly had it coming out of Woodson High in Washington, D.C. No real takers in any of the top Division I programs for a chunky quarterback. A Marshall assistant found Leftwich while watching tape of his former teammate, called the quarterback coach at Marshall, who happened to play semi-pro football with the head coach at Woodson High. That's how Byron started his career in college and now into the pros, Dick.
That's good stuff. And here is Leftwich. Throws to the sideline. A good grab by Ernest Wilford and steps out of bounds with a first down at the 33.
Hey, Armin, if I were you, I'd get off the field before Byron finds out that you called him chunky.
Well, I was also going to say he had suspect feet, but I decided to drop that one, Dan.
Anything else?
Yeah. Don't stop now, Armin.
Well, actually, you know, when they didn't even want this, they said we want this Leftwich kid. Without even looking at him, they got him. And as Jack Del Rio told us, he's one of those guys that's going to help this team turn the corner.
Follow Chad Pennington at Marshall.
Well, let's see what old Chunky could do here on first down.
Throws to the side, and it's incomplete. Derek Wimbush drops it, but James Harrison was there. It would have been a short gainer at best. He is a misleading-looking guy for a big NFL quarterback. He's got those cheeks and a baby face, and but he isn't a baby body, 240 pounds plus, and we all know he loves to compete.
He is one competitive son of a gun, and let me tell you something. He's the kind of guy, his offensive players rally around him because they'll know he'll play on one leg, play with one arm. He's a gamer.
2nd and 10, and it's given to Alvin Pierman and Larry Foote and Troy Polamalu there to say no big yardage on this carry. Troy Polamalu, the Pro Bowl last year in his second season, 5 interceptions and a touchdown, was the second leading tackler. He's just around. Look at that.
Hey, it's not every day you make a tackle sitting on your rear end. The guy, where he was in the right place, so the guy does have a nose for the ball.
That long hair, a symbol, Samoan warrior.
And there's your strong safety right up on the ball in a nickel situation.
The blitz is on. Leftwich fires to Smith, and he steps out of bounds. And with that, a first down, and he's moved up another notch. Shannon Sharp now shares the all-time standings with Smith at number 11.
Well, offensive coordinator Carl Smith ought to be proud of his offensive team here. They picked up the blitz of the Steelers, and they executed this first down play perfectly. Look at the protection that Byron Leftwich gets, even though Polamalu came on the blitz, and then a really well-run route inbounds. Nice footwork by Jimmy Smith.
Now, Shannon Sharp, well, he'd be quick to remind us, was number 10, so he's now tied Sharp at 815, number 10 all time. And the middle of that Pittsburgh defense gives ground grudgingly as Joey Porter leads the attack on Pierman.
You know, Dick LeBeau at 67 is the Pittsburgh defensive coordinator. A lot of defensive coordinators will come with a blitz. The offense picks it up, and they get stung a little bit, and they get a little hesitant. They're going, oh, maybe we got to back off of this a little bit. Forget about it with this guy. Blitzing is his middle name. I don't care if they pick it up 8 times in a row. The Steelers will come the 9th.
Second after a loss of 2. 12 for the first down. Leftwich play action. And then dumps it off to Jones. And Jones out of bounds inside the 45. Now this year, Jack Del Rio said to Jones, hey, I'm going to switch you from tailback, your natural position at Florida State. You're 260 pounds. I want you to be a fullback. And he lost weight, 250 to be the fullback. And then with the injury today to Fred Taylor, back at his more comfortable position, tailback.
Well, there's not a tailback anywhere in the world that wants to hear the news. We're switching you to fullback.
No, that's a bad day.
No, that's a bad day.
Third and a short 2. Closer to 1 as Leftwich and the Jags take a timeout, and that leaves them with only 1. When we come back, it'll be third down, a short 2. And first, we remind you, tomorrow on CBS is all new, beginning with TV's best lineup of comedies. King of Queens, new hit How I Met Your Mother, 2.5 Men, Out of Practice. And that's followed by Monday's #1 show, CSI Miami, and then The Late Show with Dave. It's all tomorrow, Monday on CBS, America's most watched network. Well, great to be in Pittsburgh. You know, you're really into the NFL season when you see a Steeler game.
And a curious thing just happened there, Dick. Byron Leftwich took a timeout. I think he had enough time left on the. Did he not have enough time left on the play clock? That he had to take the timeout because we're nearly at the end of the third quarter. Well, Byron makes the call to take a timeout, but boy, you hate to waste one that close to the end of a quarter when you're running a play like this. In a tight game like this, timeouts not to be frivolously used.
As you can see, just 8 seconds remaining in the quarter. Third and a short 2, and tackled in the backfield is Alvin Pierman, and it's James Ferrier, the most valuable Steeler last year, making another big defensive play. End of 3, 17-14 Jaguars. We'll be back after word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. By Leftwich to Williams, and he's got it. Leftwich lobs it into the end zone. It's caught by Jones. And welcome back to Heinz Field in this sellout of nearly 64,000. We open the fourth quarter, and a high boot by Hansen, and Randall L. knew that was going in the end zone. Pittsburgh will start from the 20-yard line. Tommy Maddox replacing Ben Roethlisberger, and one of your questions as we started the telecast, Dan Dierdorf, will he be able to shake the rust?
Well, a 5-for-17 performance. Yes, he had a touchdown pass to Heath Miller, but those 2 interceptions, the answer to that question through 3 quarters is no. He has not been able to shake the rust. And right now, I would think that Ken Whisenhunt, the offensive coordinator, is in a real pickle trying to select plays, because I don't think he's got a real confident quarterback on his hand in attempting to throw the ball downfield.
First down, Maddox will throw. Short to Heath Miller, the tight end. He's tackled immediately. Pete Cooper making the stop.
And right now, Pittsburgh's going to go no huddle.
And Maddox usually shines in this situation. He likes this alignment. He likes hurrying up the play. Little power change up.
I applaud them. You got to change something up, try something, because what you were doing isn't working.
The throw is deflected, incomplete, and a flag down. Nevertheless, even with the deflection, apparently a hold. Although here comes referee Terry McCauley. He's quick with the call, isn't he?
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense, number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Nickelback Terry Cousin.
Well, Terry Cousins started this game off with an interception, and that time he gets flagged for the defensive hold. But again, I really applaud this by the Steelers. This is a smart move. Try anything to energize this offense.
Here are all the contact calls being made before the play. Throw underneath and tackled immediately is Randall L. Pete Cooper on the spot after a pickup of 5+.
Question is, will Pittsburgh have enough moxie to try to stretch the field, to go vertical at all? You can't just throw 3- and 4-yard passes all the time.
Now to Parker. Soften it up with a pass, go back to the run, and a first down run for Parker into Peterson and Cooper.
Well, Alan Faneca told us that, yes, Henderson and Stroud are great players, but they'll get tired just like anybody else. Well, this is the one way to fatigue a defense. Go no huddle. Don't give them a chance to substitute.
Look at Faneca, All-America LSU. Maddox fires again, complete. This to Quincy Morgan. And Morgan, who was acquired after Cleveland made a trade with Dallas. Antonio Bryant straight up for Morgan, and Morgan a free agent and picked off by the Steelers this year.
Now you did get a couple substitutions there. Reggie Hayward came in, Marcus Stroud came back into the ball game. They ran it, they're running it slowly enough that they did allow Jacksonville to make some subs on defense.
Second and short, and the throw complete. It's Heath Miller again, that #1 draft pick, all the way to the 25.
And again, some of the Jacksonville guys are clear back upfield, and we've got a player down at the 45-yard line. And right now, we've got one of the Jacksonville Jaguars down, the crowd booing because they don't like the momentum being stopped.
Appeared to be Bobby McCray, a defensive end. They attend to McCray. We'll take a break. Back in Steeler country, and Pittsburgh with that last grab of 27 yards by Heath Miller, well into field goal range. They trail by 3. 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. Fake to Parker. Maddox going deep. Incomplete. In and out of the arms of Antoine Randall, and credit Rashean Mathis with some tough man coverage.
Well, Rashean Mathis is one of the better cover corners in the National Football League. He's blossomed into this role in only his 3rd year. Look at the coverage. Look at the instincts as far as when he turns back and looks at the ball. That was really well played.
This hurry-up offense, so working for Tommy Maddox and the Steelers. He gets off the blocks in a hurry, doesn't he? 5 yards into Aiken Adel, and Nick Sorensen now in at safety for Jacksonville.
Well, Willie Parker made a name for himself last year at the end of his rookie season by really getting noticed, and then of course he just blew out of the gates this year with a 161 against Tennessee in the opener, followed that up with 111 against Houston in the second game of the season, and he's earned himself the starting position.
A little shorter than their average 3rd down, but they've yet to make a conversion. 3rd and 5 here. Quick throw, batted down, and a flag is down. Kenny Wright got a hand on the ball. Was he using the other hand to push off?
Yeah, you saw that look on Jack Del Rio's face. These 3rd down penalties.
Defense.
Nothing hurts more than a 3rd down penalty that brings an automatic first down with it. All right, take a look. Kenny Wright's number 25. You just can't reach in with your left hand like that and hook the arm, which is exactly what he did to Quincy Morgan. You can get a hit at the line of scrimmage. Yes, you're allowed contact within the first 5 yards, but you can't hook a guy and impede his progress, as Morgan was trying to release to the inside.
Good call, and it's a first down at the 20 for Pittsburgh. They convert on that 3rd down by penalty, and here comes Parker to the 10-yard line. Just as it appeared he had something big. Good hit made by Rashean Mathis. He not only can cover, he can tackle. Last 2 games, the Jaguars have been hit with 25 penalties for 217 yards. They're up to 91 yards today.
And there's Pittsburgh, the red zone, and let me tell you, they'll take 11 out of 16 touchdowns all the time. That's a 67% conversion ratio. That's darn good.
And field goals the other 5 times, so they've been perfect. Inside to Parker. Thought we might see Jerome Bettis here. 3rd down now in a long 2. Henderson with that stop.
Dick, you know, coaches don't even want to talk about field goals in the red zone. They want touchdowns, and when you're doing it 67% of the time, they're thrilled with that.
Bettis is on the sidelines. We saw him warming up when we went to that last commercial, anticipating he might come in. Instead, it's Veron Haynes who replaces Parker. Second, now third down and 3, call it. And the handoff to Haynes, and he is caught in the backfield and tackled for a big loss. Marcus Stroud with his 6'6", 312-pound frame blocking the field, and Darrell Smith there to finish the job.
Well, it's all about penetration, and that's exactly Marcus Stroud was playing football in the Pittsburgh backfield. What's a defensive tackle doing back there? And there's absolutely no chance at all for Haynes to get his body turned upfield. Great play by the two-time Pro Bowler.
Here's Jeff Reed. He's missed only 1 field goal in the last 29 attempts. Won the game in San Diego, and this a short shot, 29. And we have a tie game with 9:38 left, 17 all.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the new Sprint, the official telecommunications service sponsor of the NFL. Wendy's, do great taste at a low price. Do Wendy's, do what tastes right. And by Under Armour Performance Apparel. We must protect this house.
So Jeff Reed with that field goal, missing only 1 of 30, and the miss was from 52 yards. So he is as close to perfect as you can come the last couple of years. Tees it up, and Alvin Kierman, the rookie from Virginia, deep to return for Jacksonville. It's tied at 17, 9.5 to go. Kierman, son of a coach who coached at Colgate, Princeton, and Williams College, and can't do anything but kneel down on that long, ripping kickoff from Jeff Reed. Amazing race Tuesday, folks. Watch teams compete on the world's largest racetrack. See why critics call the 3-time Emmy winner the Amazing Race a full-fledged hit. That's Tuesday night, CBS, America's most watched network.
Well, that scoring drive by the Steelers has this crowd fired up. The defense down there imploring the crowd to get on their feet and give them a hand. That field goal has given the Steelers some energy.
And that hurry-up offense worked for Bill Cowher to tie it up. Leftwich over the middle and complete to Reggie Williams, and he had the tight end Kyle Brady all alone deep. No one picked him up.
Well, his first read is to Williams, who's going to flash right in front of it. And, of course, Williams, a big target at 6'4". And even though the coverage wasn't that bad by Ike Taylor, still a good throw, pitch and catch.
3 catches now for Williams. Second year out of Washington. He's got 50 yards. Now up the middle. Pierman tripped up, and he had a lot of room up front. Aaron Smith able to save a long gainer by getting that one big mitt on his leg and tripping him down at the 34.
Well, you're right about that. Take a look at this thing. Going to break right off the right guard, and that is a fabulous hole. But at the last minute, where Aaron Smith, along with Hampton and Von Oelhoffen, a really underrated 3-man group, and that was probably at least a 10-yard saving tackle by Aaron Smith.
They show blitz, and here they come off the corner, and Leftwich is going deep and overshoots Jimmy Smith, but he was under pressure. And let's go to New York and Greg Gumbel for this update.
All right, Dick, in Tampa, the Bucs attack on defense. Greg Spires sacks Gus Frerotte. Will Allen recovers the fumble, 33 yards and a touchdown. 2 Bucs touchdowns in less than a minute 40, 27-6 Tampa Bay.
The Buccaneers indeed, Dan, are playing like their Super Bowl year, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Steeler fans on their feet, rooting for the defense for a stop. 2nd and 10 for Leftwich. Dumps it off. It's Pierman. And he dances to the 40, 4 yards short of a first down. Casey Hampton and Ike Taylor with a collaboration on the stop.
Well, your biggest plays will come when the blitz is called and you have a screen run to that side of the blitz. This time Jacksonville's screen is called away from the blitz, and there are Pittsburgh defenders to that side of the field. And while it is good positive yardage, that's just one of those luck of the draw deals. If that screen would have been called to the left, that would have gone for big money.
3rd and 4. 3 wides. Looking for Jones over the middle. He can't get it off. Down he goes. Blitzburg finally arrives here in the 4th quarter. Their 2nd sack.
Well, that was more Coversburg than Blitzburg, because Byron Leftwich had all sorts of time in the pocket and could not find an open receiver anywhere. Take a look. Here comes the rush up the middle. Folks, that's good pass protection. Byron Leftwich doesn't have anywhere to go with the football. Rather than put it up for grabs, he just eats it.
Aaron Smith was there first, the defensive end. You saw him make that nice one-arm tackle of Pierman, and then comes back with a pass rush. And meanwhile, Maurice Williams, the big tackle, right tackle of the Jaguars, slow getting up, and he leaves the field.
Of course, if a lot of this crowd realized he played his football at Michigan, they might boo him pretty hard. Not a lot of love for Michigan in the state of Pennsylvania today.
Boy, what a game. That was one of the many fantastic games. How about the SC Notre Dame final? UCLA Washington State last night.
One of the best days of college football I can ever remember.
West Virginia homecoming coming back. Antoine Randall has 1 touchdown. Skips out of the hold of 1, a flag down, and finally Randall tackled by the rookie Gerald Sensabaugh out of North Carolina. Got a penalty flag down right at the contact spot.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team, number 81. 10-yard penalty, 1st down, timeout.
Sean Morey ticketed, so Pittsburgh will begin at its 15. Temperature dropping into the 50s, wind still gusting, and the spot of the foul was downfield, so Pittsburgh begins at the 13. Maddox didn't begin well, but he's 4 for 5 on that last drive that led to the tying field goal. Throws almost intercepted by Peterson. It would have been a touchdown. He had one earlier in the game. Oh my.
Oh, on the flight back to Jacksonville, Mike Peterson's going to feel this football on his hands all the way home, because that is there. Now, it was way out in front. That would have been one heck of a catch. He would have had to get it with one hand and pop it up in the air. Chances are you're not going to get that one. That wasn't an easy catch whatsoever.
He made that one-handed tip to himself for the interception in the 1st quarter, led to a touchdown. Lee Parker, fake to him, then the throw down the middle, complete to the tight end Miller, and he's got another big gainer, and it takes half the Jaguar defense to bring him down, and they may have used a face mask to do it.
Well, Heath Miller is having a coming out party today. This rookie making the tough catch. Look at that. All hands. Is that ball laid out in front of him?
Defense, number 35. 5-yard penalty.
And then there's 15 yards added on. Deke Cooper, number 35, gets the call. And again, a penalty moves the sticks even farther downfield. Now, I was anxious to see if the Steelers were going to go no huddle after that completion. Remember, they had no huddle success on the last drive. I'll be anxious to see if they go no huddle after this play.
That's 313 yards in penalties against Jacksonville in the last 3 games. Parker to the 45, a gain of 2. Darrell Smith with the stop.
Now they're going back to the huddle. I would really be tempted to stay in that no huddle. They were a totally different offensive team that last drive, where Maddox went 4 for 5.
I think your point well taken too, that big defensive line of the Jaguars, even with the substitutions, was tiring.
You know, no huddle doesn't mean you're burning off that much more clock, but I think it's a state of mind. I know there's only 6 minutes left in this game, but still, you had success, and you haven't had any otherwise.
Maddox has to double clutch and then throw incomplete. Trying to hit Parker as a desperation dump off. Well, it's a lot to expect even from a veteran of Maddox's sort, that he could come off the bench after not really playing. He started the last game of last season, the last real action that he's seen, played a little in the preseason. He hasn't been his usual sharpness. Ben Roethlisberger probably will be back next week based on how he talked about that knee injury. Remarkably not serious. It sure looked that way Monday night, didn't it?
Well, next week they have to go to Cincinnati.
Looks like that'll be a battle for first place. Maddox steps up and he's going to throw on the run and has his man, Quincy Morgan. It's good down at the 30 of Jacksonville.
And Tommy Maddox this time on the move delivers a strike. Most of the times in this game when he has been forced from the pocket, the pass has been errant. This time on the run, it's a perfect pass to Morgan, who runs a nice pattern and sits on the sideline and makes himself a target. Yep, wave to your quarterback, and Maddox finds it.
26-yard play. Maddox to Morgan. Now Parker. And when he gets around the edge, everyone takes a gasp, especially on that Jacksonville sideline. Down to the 25, a gain of 5. And we welcome those who have been watching the NFL on CBS elsewhere. Dick Enberg, Dan Dierdorf, Armin Katan. We're at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Tommy Maddox trying to rally the Steelers. They were down by 3. Long possession on the last try for Maddox to tie it at 17, and now they've driven deep into Jacksonville territory. The stuff by Adele of Willie Parker will bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger, there was some question as to whether or not he'd play this year after the injury on Monday night. He's recovered quickly. He thought he would play today, but he's the 3rd string quarterback. Hines Ward, the 2nd all-time receiver in Pittsburgh history, 4 straight Pro Bowls. He's on the sidelines, first time in his entire football life, and it's up to Tommy Maddox and those who fill in to beat Jacksonville today. 3rd down and 7. Maddox caught from behind, and looked for a moment he was going to lose the ball, didn't it?
No, but he lost yardage. He lost a little bit of yardage back there because they were looking at about a 44-yarder before. And that's now going to make it even a little longer. Now it looks like it's going to go back to maybe about a 46 or 47-yarder for Jeff Reed.
Reed 1 for 1 today, and 29 out of the last 30 has been Reed. He's just been deadly. This one will be 46. Gardocki, the punter, to hold, to give the Steelers the lead with 3:38 left in the game. He hits it high enough, long enough. It's wide to the right, no good. And Del Rio and the Jaguars will get it now, and good field position.
You can see that ball pushed to the right from the very beginning. Never had a chance.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by IBM. Become an on-demand business. IBM can help. And by NikeGridiron.com.
3:28 remaining. Jeff Reed missing from 46 yards, a rare no good from him, and with the miss, Jacksonville gets it at the 36-yard line. Leftwich throwing deep down the sidelines and overshoots his tight end George Reitzer, who was open.
Well, again, Jeff Reed No rush up the middle, but again, I don't know if he's trying to draw the ball back in or if he thinks the wind was going to blow it back in, but he pushed it right the whole way. And speaking of dodging one right there, the Steelers dodged a big one because George Reister was totally uncovered by the Pittsburgh defense.
Leftwich too strong with the throw. You see his numbers, 16 for 27, a touchdown. Polamalu knocks into Leftwich, and he completes the pass anyway as it goes to Alvin Pierman, the rookie running back. Oh, now Polamalu.
Folks, this is the definition of toughness because you're staring right at him because you're going to that side of the field, but you got to wait for your guy to come open. You have to hold the ball, wait for your guy to break. This is like you see that train coming, and you have no choice but to stand there and take it.
And that train, 212 pounds at full speed.
Don't tell me Byron Leftwich isn't a tough son of a gun.
On first down. Handed off inside to Pierman, then he swings outside and able to pick up a couple, but not much at all, as Larry Foote and Mike Taylor running with him.
Well, all over the field is Troy Polamalu. This entire Pittsburgh defense is built around his skills, his ability to find the football. He's in on virtually every play for this Pittsburgh defense. He said he can't wait for Dick LeBeau to bring out the game plan because it's built around him. He said, I just want to see the different areas of the field where I get a chance to make a play.
A guy that never watches football on television. He said, I've never watched the game. Can you believe that? Leftwich can't believe no protection. James Harrison, subbing for the injured Clark Higgins, has his third sack of the year. And the third by Pittsburgh today takes us to the 2-minute timeout. A tradition that goes back to the 4 Super Bowl championship years in the 70s of the Steelers. The terrible towels are out. Jack Del Rio and his fighting bunch of Jaguars, they lost 25-23 2 years ago to Pittsburgh. They lost by 1 point, 17-16 last year. True to form, another tight game between these two teams that are 8-8 lifetime. Leftwich throwing deep, but no chance for Richie Williams, and he got hit hard again, and a flag goes down with it.
Defense, number 91, blow to the head. 15-yard penalty.
Wow.
First down.
That's all I can say. Aaron Smith getting called for a blow to the head on Byron Leftwich. And on third and forever, a Jacksonville first down. Up the middle, number 91.
Blow to the head.
He hit him with the left hand in the face mask and the helmet.
Can't do that.
No, you can't do it. And wow, there are some penalties are bigger than others, and that one's off the charts.
And Jacksonville very generous themselves throughout this game with penalties that have lengthened Pittsburgh drives and possessions. Gets the break this time at the 45 with the Steelers.
And keep in mind, Jacksonville has only 1 timeout left.
1:55 to go. Leftwich almost falls. Throws to Kyle Brady, the tight end, for maybe a yard gain. Tumbles out of bounds, stops the clock. Now, Jack Del Rio, you have to look at him. Steelers and Cowher have had their great seasons in his 14 years. But Del Rio says in his 3rd season, we are turning the corner. We're about to have a breakthrough game. He feels that this young team is maturing and something special is about to happen. This might be the start of just that something special. Leftwich in only 3 seasons has conducted 7 winning drives. 2nd and 9, throw incomplete. Pierman wasn't even looking for the ball, and Polamalu was Wimbush out of the backfield not looking, and Polamalu was looking for a sack. He was right in on the quarterback again.
That's a rookie not recognizing that on the blitz to his side, he's got to break off his pattern and bring it in short and be a target for his quarterback. Wimbush is a rookie.
Josh Scobie, his longest is 53. That's a Jacksonville record. There's the target line. Get to about the 36-yard line. They're on the 44.
But that would be a 53 or 54-yard field goal. I don't think there's been a field goal in this stadium ever over 48.
There hasn't. Leftwich guns it complete to the rookie Matt Jones, and Jones right at the sticks falls forward. First down, Jacksonville.
Well, it's a tough assignment to keep a receiver who's 6'6", 230 pounds to keep him from not picking up another yard or two after the catch. And that's a tough assignment here because Matt Jones actually catches this short of the first down. But it's a real struggle for Willie Williams to bring him down, and he picks up another 3 to 4 yards and moves the chains.
Jones, the #1 draft pick out of Arkansas, where he was a quarterback. And now they give to Pierman another rookie, and he has a couple of yards. Clock is running to the 1 minute mark.
I don't think Jacksonville should feel comfortable in this range at all.
They have one timeout left, Jacksonville. Scobie would be kicking to the tough end of the stadium, yes, the open end where the wind could be more of a factor.
And the wind swirls here. It has been swirling all day. There's been a cold front move through. We've had gusting winds all day. And I would want at least another 10 yards if I'm Jacksonville.
Clock keeps ticking. 34 seconds left. The blitz. Leftwich throws long for Smith. And what a play by Willie Ike Taylor. Ike Taylor saved the touchdown. Oh my, that was a good play.
When that ball was about 10 or 15 feet from Jimmy Smith, I thought it was going to be a catch. Because he's got a couple steps on Ike Taylor. And Ike Taylor at the last second, take a look at this, goes up and gets his right hand on the football and walks away a sure touchdown to the Jacksonville wide receiver. What a play.
26 seconds. On 3rd and 8. Leftwich goes long again to Williams, and it's intercepted in the end zone by Bryant McFadden. The #2 draft pick this year from Florida State has his first big league interception, and it comes in the end zone.
Well, Pittsburgh came on the blitz, and Jack Del Rio and Byron Leftwich got what they wanted. They got single coverage. You get single coverage on a blitz, but Leftwich wasn't able to step into the ball. He's not able to really get into it. He's got his feet knocked out from under him. This thing floats on him, and McFadden just makes the catch. Wow, this game in the last couple of minutes has been insane.
And we welcome those who've been watching elsewhere. The final seconds of this game in regulation will tick off. Bryant McFadden, a rookie cornerback, has made his first NFL interception to deny Jack Del Rio's Jaguars, who were moving into field goal range but elected to go for 2 long passes in the end zone, and the second was picked off. And we'll go to overtime. And how typical this is of the play between these two teams.
Well, I don't fault Jacksonville at all for going for the touchdown, Dick, because they were on the very edge of what I would call field goal range, and the way this wind is swirling, I don't fault them at all in going for the end zone. It's just, for them, unfortunate that wasn't able to step into it, Byron Leftwich, and the ball floated on him for the INT.
Welcome to our first game of this big doubleheader day on CBS. Dick Enberg, Dan Dierdorf, Armin Katayan at Heinz Field before a sellout of 64,000. And we're about to go to the overtime period.
Coin, heads, tails. What's your call, Jacksonville? His call is tails.
Let's go heads. Let's go heads.
It is heads. Pittsburgh won the toss. You want the ball?
Well, the Steelers will get it first in this 17-17 tie.
I have 2 words for Pittsburgh. No huddle.
It worked earlier, but they didn't use it last time. They played 16 times, 8 wins aside. The Steelers and the Jaguars, and Bill Cowher's team, the hottest in the NFL in the regular season the last 2 years, winning 18, losing only 2 of their 20 games. And they've managed to get into a tie. And we say managed because Jacksonville for most parts of this game, has outplayed the Steelers, or without Ben Roethlisberger. He's the third-string quarterback with that knee injury, but not as serious as feared. He should be back next week. Hines Ward, their top receiver, one of the game's best, he also not playing for the first time in his career. And Jacksonville, without their top running back, Fred Taylor, he was unable to go with a sprained ankle. So Josh Scobee tees it up, and the Steelers in this overtime will get first crack. Quincy Morgan is deep for Pittsburgh, along with Cedric Wilson. Scobee swings the leg, and it's deep. Morgan, veteran receiver, 20, 25, 30. He could go all the way. Mathis pushes him out of bounds. Rashean Mathis pushes him out of bounds, but not until the 26-yard line. They're already in field goal range.
And special teams have brought it home for the Pittsburgh Steelers today.
74 yards on the return by Morgan.
Again, working his way in behind the wedge. Look at the blocking, and already you look how he identifies the crease. And then the kicker Scobee unable to make the tackle. If not for Rashean Mathis, it ends up being a Pittsburgh touchdown.
72 yards earlier in the game for Antoine Randall. A punt return for a touchdown. Parker loses the ball, and he's able to fall on his own mistake. Oh, a fortuitous bounce for Parker, who was tackled by Aiken Adell and kicked the ball free.
Well, this time Willie Parker unable to get turned upfield, just running sideways, and the ball knocked out of there. You're right, Dick. It was Aiken Adell, and not often in that situation do you get the fortuitous bounce that Willie Parker got there. That thing bounces in strange directions, and it came right back up into his hand.
Loss of 3. Back to Parker, protecting with both hands this time, and gains a couple. Adell and Cooper collaborate on the stop, and there is Jeff Reed. He had a chance to win it in the fourth quarter, but missed from 46 yards. But it was only his second miss in the last 31 kicks.
And he'd be looking at between 44 and 45 right now. Here's that miss that Dick was talking about. He pushed it about 3 feet to the right. And he'd be looking at maybe a field goal right here of only a yard or two shorter.
But in a tougher end of the field, the open end where the wind is more dominant, a fumble by Maddox, and it's recovered by Jacksonville. Oh my, what a turnabout. Reggie Hayward, the defensive end, falls on Maddox's fumble.
Well, here's Pittsburgh in overtime, and in 3 plays, they fumble it twice. Tommy Maddox gets a snap and is never able to secure it, and instead of falling on it, tries to pick it up. And Jack Del Rio can hardly believe his team's good fortune in Pittsburgh just putting the ball on the ground and saying, here, take it.
Well, it hasn't been the most immaculately played game, but it certainly has been hard hitting and has some wonderful dramatic moments now from the 36-yard line. Jacksonville's turn. Leftwich. Downfield, oh, well over the head of Jimmy Smith, who was double teamed. Hines Ward on the sidelines and cannot believe the Steelers wasting that golden opportunity. They were in field goal range.
Well, how hard for a player like Hines Ward for those of you that joined us late, a player who's never missed a game in grade school, junior high, high school, college, or the pros until the game today because of that sore hamstring.
And we all know what a big playmaker he is. Empty backfield, and now it's to Jones, and he is hit for a loss by Willie Williams. That play not working at all as Matt Jones, used in a lot of ways. He is Jacksonville's answer to slash. He can pass as a former Arkansas quarterback. He's been made into a receiver, but who knows whether that was a pass play. Scobee hopes he gets a chance, but now the ball's back at the 29-yard line. They have to get all the way down to about the 34 of Pittsburgh.
Well, and I think more importantly, trying to convert a 3rd and 17. This is where you just can't take a chance. It's not the end of the world to punt it away and let your defense have another shot.
Is this Blitzburg coming? They're showing it. They rush 5 and a flag down.
Yep, no play.
False start for Jacksonville with all this noise.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's going to make a 3rd and 22. 101 penalty yards for Jacksonville, well over 300 yards in the last 3 games.
Well, I can tell you one thing. You get to practice a lot of things during the week. You don't practice 3rd and 22 from your end of the field in overtime.
This is where you don't want to make a mistake. Here in Pittsburgh, we're in overtime, and Jacksonville facing 3rd and 22. Leftwich airs it out deep for Reggie Williams, incomplete. Chris Hope and Bryant McFadden with the double coverage. There's McFadden, the rookie from Florida State, who intercepted a Leftwich's pass in the final minute of regulation in the end zone to deny Jacksonville the win. And here's the man who has kept Pittsburgh in the game, a 72-yard punt return for a touchdown in the 2nd quarter that awakened Pittsburgh and this crowd when Jacksonville was dominating play. Chris Hansen, the left footer. Randall L. Finally tackled at the 23-yard line. Nick Sorensen with the stop, and Chris Hansen's punts, other than the one that was returned for the score, and that's not his fault, have been outstanding. And they're going to come back.
Ineligible man downfield on the kick. Kicking team, number 36. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And that's the rookie fullback, Wimbush. And there are a lot of penalties. That's only 5 yards, but how costly will that be? 53-yard net on the punt. And can Hansen deliver one that good against the Steelers on the 2nd try?
Well, in the first period, it's tough enough to cover punts back to back after that 45-yard sprint. Here we are in the 5th period of play. I think you can figure it out that it's a little more exhausting. Better odds here for Randall L.
Another moment in this game was Chris Gardocki had a punt blocked. It went 9 yards, so it doesn't count officially as breaking a string of never having one blocked, but it wound up a 3-pointer for Jacksonville when they were stopped on the 1-yard line. Spinner that's shorter this time. Randall L at the 33, and down he goes. What a tackle by Nick Sorensen. Well, in case you've just joined us here, the first game of our doubleheader, here's how it went.
Well, it's a 17-17 tie. Matt Jones, what a one-handed catch. And then here comes the tie by Jeff Reed. He ties it up for Pittsburgh. And with a chance to put Pittsburgh ahead in the 4th quarter, Jeff Reed misses it. And then at the very end of regulation, when Jacksonville was in range, the interception, and then amazingly,
in just a few minutes, due to NFL contractual obligations, we will be leaving this game in order to bring you coverage of the New England at Denver game.
That's Mike Peterson with a hand on another one. He had an interception in the first half, almost another than the second half, and his quickness in coverage has been tantalizing for Jaguar fans.
And here goes Pittsburgh with no huddle.
And this is a system that Bill Cowher used early in the 4th quarter to awaken his offense.
Only one series, and they ended up scoring on a field goal. And then they went away from it.
5 wides. Maddox. Intercepted. It's Rashean Mathis to win it for Jacksonville. Mathis, who is maturing as one of the top cornerbacks in the league, wasn't seen by Maddox, darts in front of the receiver, and has his first interception for a touchdown in the NFL, 41 yards.
Tommy Maddox looking to the left of the field, comes back to Quincy Morgan. I can't explain what he saw or didn't see. Rashean Mathis is sitting there. He's only going to make a two-step move to pick this ball off. Just another bad decision by Tommy Maddox, who had just about as bad a day as a quarterback could have.
So for Dane Dierdorf and Armin Katayan, I'm Dick Enberg. Final score 23-17. Jacksonville in overtime. Stay tuned for the second half of our doubleheader. You're watching the NFL on CBS.